Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chanel if you are new, and if you are coming back, then what's up? Okay, so as you can see by the title, this is my 1-year anniversary for being here in Atlanta. Okay, anyway, so I'm not going to prolong the time. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so on October 4th, oh, and I got my phone with me, y'all, because I have to stay organized, because if not, I'll be all over the place. I just need to get all my points down. Okay, all right. So it's my 1-year anniversary for being here in Atlanta. Right now, to this day, it is October the 7th. I moved here last year of October the 4th, which was on a Sunday. So let me just bring it on down. I left my family, my friends, everybody back in North Carolina. So I am from a small town called Burgaw, North Carolina. And it's where you know everybody, okay? You know everybody. Y'all, so I left my family. I was a weepy mess. I was crying. I was like, Lord, I cannot believe that I am really about to move. So I left my best friend first and hugged her, said my goodbyes, well, see you laters. Then I went to my family. I told them I see them later. And to me, y'all, that was the hardest. Anybody who has never moved outside of their family, maybe it's easy for some people, but for me, it wasn't, because that was literally all I knew. They were all I knew for 25 years, and I never moved outside of them. So moving 6 hours away was hard, and I didn't know how I was going to be able to function because I always had them around me. So I didn't leave until about 1 o'clock that afternoon. So, and on the way, as I left, I cried the entire time. As soon as I got on the freeway and hit South Carolina, I won't cry no more. I was hyped then, because I was just like, okay, the tears has been shut off just like that. Like, what's going on? I hit South Carolina. Then when I finally got in at Georgia, I was like super hyped. So I get to my destination, and mind you not, y'all, this is a whole separate video, but I ended up moving in with my boss. Yes, my boss. So long story short, I had got a job in Atlanta a couple of months before October. So I got the job in like June-ish. Came here to Atlanta, did the job interview, boom, got hired on the spot. And I kept coming between June and August. I was back and forth to Atlanta trying to get things situated, trying to get my CNA license transferred, just a whole lot to move 6 hours away. So finally got that done. So fast forward, now I arrive in Atlanta around 9 o'clock. So I text my boss while I'm close, and she says, text me about an hour out and let me know when you get here. And I was like, okay. Oh my gosh, my camera is about to die. What is it? Okay, let me see how much I can get in. So y'all, I ended up arriving around 9 o'clock, and I come into the house and I meet her and I meet the rest of her family, whoever's staying there. And so it's basically like I'm renting a room. So she takes me to the room where I want to be at, and she was like, okay, if you want to settle now, you know, if you want to get something to eat, you know, it's all up to you. And I was like, okay. So I get settled, yada yada yada, and I go to sleep. In the middle of the night, y'all, I wake up and I can hardly breathe, like asthma attack. And I'm just like I'm just like, what in the world going on? So I had my diffuser on, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, what is going on? I don't want to have to call the 911. So I prayed. I'm like, Lord, please just settle this like what I need to do. I drank me some water. I sat up in the bed. I took me a couple of deep breaths, and then boom, I was okay. So throughout that week, I thought I was going to start like literally the next 2 to 3 days of work. I didn't start my new job until the week later, on October the 12th is when I started my job. So that entire week of between October 4th to the 12th, I was just hanging out, you know? So basically sightseeing. The next day, my family ends up calling me, hey, are you doing okay? You know, checking up on me. I'm just like, dang, are y'all checking or are y'all checking? Anyway, so it was good they checked up on me because I needed it, and I was trying to get acclimated, comfortable with the new environment. And y'all, when I tell you that Atlanta traffic ain't no joke, I get up out there and I'm like a lamb. Like, these people are like lions, like, roar. I mean, they just running past you. They stick up that middle finger, you cut them off. Like, they don't even care if you cut them off, but some people, they do care. Y'all, so I'm just like, oh my goodness, like I am an infant at driving in Atlanta. So I had to get used to it. So I'm driving around, you know, seeing different places. Some places look familiar because they had certain stores from back home, and some are not. So I get to my job October 12th, and it is chaotic. We all know how workplaces are whenever you first get there. Now, sometimes some workplaces are not, you know, and some are. And I'm just like, okay. And I work in the medical field, so you know, it can be the hustle and the bustle. You know, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're getting paperwork in. You know, you're trying to get used to the people who you're going to be working with, different attitudes, different personalities. So I'm adjusting. So I'm observing, just looking around like, oh, okay, you know, this is cool. All right, Lord, you told me to come here. Who am I here for, you know? And what am I here for, you know, transitioning and stuff like that. So anyway, and everything was all well and cool. So eventually down the line, it's about November, December-ish and whatnot. So I've made, you know, friends and people who I've cultivated a relationship with at work, and they're all older people. It seems like I always attract older, the older age to hang around with. So they latch on to me, I latch on to them. We're talking about relationships, you know, friendships, struggles, just everything. God, family, friends, future, all of that. Still, while all of this is going on, me and my friend and another friend from back home, we are trying to move all together. So I have 3 roommates, and we are trying to move into a house. So I thought that I was going to be moving in maybe like a month. No, it's about 6 months. And I was upset throughout the entire 6 months. I'm like, okay, I'm here staying with my boss. Okay, so 1 month ended up turning into 6 months, and I was not happy about it. I'm like, okay, I'm ready to be in my own home. I'm ready to have my own room. I'm ready to be able to just be comfortable where I am. Not saying that, no, I was not comfortable. Okay, anyway. So it turned into like 6 months. Then at the end, between November and December, me and my friends were house hunting. So they will find a place. All 3 of us will find a place. And when we found it, hey, Chanel, can you go? And you go to this place and look and see what it's all about. I'm like, okay. I was like, okay, yeah, cool. So I would drive to wherever the destination was, see the house. We would do the paperwork, and the house would get swiped away from us just like that. As soon as I would drive up and go in, text the person, call the realtor and whatnot, oh, this house is no longer available, it has been sold. Okay. And it seemed like that would happen to us repeatedly, over and over and over again, throughout between November to, well, from the time I moved all the way to like December. So we made a decision at the end of the year of December 2020 that we were going to wait after the holidays because family was coming into town. We were visiting family, yada yada yada. So we didn't want to be overwhelmed with the process of trying to find a home during all of this. So we put a pause on it and we all agreed. And while they're saying that, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not happy, but hey, this is what is going to happen. So I had to deal with it. So for Christmas, I went home to my family. They were so happy to see me because they saw me over FaceTime and saw me over FaceTime calls, stuff like that. But when it came to like seeing each other, I didn't come home until Christmas since leaving in October. So, you know, that was a mini vacation in itself. I had so much fun with my nieces and all that good stuff. So now it's the beginning of the year, and we picked back up and looking for homes. So we still didn't get any luck, I'll say. And so my boss is telling me about different areas of Atlanta, giving me the deets on, you know, what's a good area, how much things is going to cost, how much money you need to save up, just giving me encouraging words. And finally, February. This is the month where everything picks up, and it just seems like the floodgates of heaven are open and the Lord is shining down upon us, in which he already was. But it just seemed as though everything was like boom, 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 boom. I get off of work one night because I'm working night shift at my old job. I'm on night shift, and I get this call and they're like, hey, there's this realtor, you know, through a church connection, from our women's empowerment group. And well, from our women's empowerment group, we had a connection, and through her we found our realtor. And she was like, hey, you know, get in touch with her. And so my roommates ended up talking to her, and it was like, okay, well, I have a house, you know, that I want you guys to see, if you'll be, you know, willing, open to come by and see it. And so we're like, okay, bet, let's go. So they called me and they're like, hey, Chanel, we are going to come up here this day. And I'm like, okay, then you just all meet up where I'm staying right now, and then we can all carpool together to the home. So they come down and we carpool to the home. We get there and I'm like, oh yes, what? This is it. I'm so excited. We walk in, we meet the realtor, we tour the home, and we meet the rest of the roommates, and we talk, and it's just like God sent. Like, she tells us, well, I was going to put this house on the market, but I'm giving you ladies first dibs to the home. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm sitting there on the couch downstairs like, okay, I'm ready to move in now. What I gotta do? I mean, I got money in my pocket, let's go. We have a conversation and she was like, okay, it's a go. So weeks later, we end up signing the lease, and I'm the first one to move in, y'all. I'm the first one to move in because I'm closer, and I was so excited. So on March 26th, I moved into my first home. I am like super excited, and I was so ready to leave from, you know, the place that I was at, and I was just like, I'm so ready to be in my own, because sometimes you feel limited when you're in someone else's home. It just depends on how comfortable you are. I don't know. I was so excited, y'all. So that night, I had to work prior to that night, and I wasn't able to get off. So I ended up, my co-workers ended up helping me out. It was like, all right, girl, what you need? You know, I'm just like, well, you know, I just want to be able to rest up. So they helped me out with my rounds that night, 5 o'clock. Did my round, got off of work at 6, and I was up ever since then. I did not go back to sleep until later on that night when I finally moved in, got curtains up, my bedding, all of that, just to get my room together. So my room was different than what it is now. I had a different color scheme, but I just wanted to just go ahead and just get in. That's all I care about. Let me get into this home. So after after I did all my grocery shopping, well, so far what grocery shopping I could do, and getting, you know, things to the home just to start me for that night, I ended up meeting the realtor. She tells me all different types of things I need to know for the house and alarm system and this and that, and I'm like, okay, so I'm just, well, actually not writing, but typing things down into my phone just to make sure that I don't forget. And I spent my first night in the home, and I slept with the door open, well, cracked. I slept with the door cracked. I was not about to be shut up in my room, and I'm in this new neighborhood. I don't know nobody. They're looking at me like, oh, we got a new female on the block. Like, yeah, it's me. So anyway, y'all, God is, he is just so faithful, because from the time that I left North Carolina, October 2020, and between right now to this day, I have grown in more areas than one. Me being independent, being having this sense of freedom, in which I had freedom when I was back in North Carolina, you know, but being not like being free like out here all in these streets. I ain't talking about all of that. I'm just talking about being independent within you know, like being stable, you know, adulting, bills, you know, getting a job, you know, taking care of your car, and being a single independent young woman it's different whenever you're outside of your family. I mean, for me, it was. So it was so much that I had to learn, and I'm just grateful for the people who I met when I was here, like my first co-workers, and I mean, they're all older, but just getting so much like advice from them and encouragement, and them pouring into me and me pouring into them at the age that I am, you know, because wisdom does not come with calendar years. I don't care how old you are. Like a 5-year-old can give you a word and you be like, dang girl, you just read my whole life. Like, yes, period. That's, sometimes it's just how it is. So much about Atlanta. The only thing that I really can't stand from time to time is the traffic. If you have to be somewhere at 10 o'clock, you need to be waking up at like 7, because if you don't get out there on that road in time, you are going to be in traffic. And it depends on which area, if you're in the metro area or if you just some other part of Atlanta. It's really crazy. Like downtown, Buckhead, Alpharetta, Dunwoody, Sandy Springs, all y'all, Lawrenceville, all them areas over there, it is terrible with traffic, and the people just do not care. They don't pay attention. You have to be looking straight ahead and behind you. I mean, all mirrors, peripheral and all. Like, y'all, make sure that you like, you can comment if you want, but please make sure that you subscribe and click that bell, so that way when I post another video, you guys will know and you can click on it and you can look at it. Okay, anyway, I will see y'all next time. Love ya. Bye.